She whispered his name once. Just once. Her voice barely audible over the rain hammering against the carriage windows. The twins clutched against her chest, silent, their gray eyes wide with the kind of fear children shouldn't understand. Theron. The vampire king stood at the carriage door, his hand on the frame, rain streaming down his face like tears he could never shed. Behind him, the castle gates loomed, iron and ancient magic, the threshold he'd sworn she'd always be welcomed through. Please, Maya's voice cracked. Please don't leave us here. He didn't answer, didn't meet her eyes, just stepped back into the darkness and closed the door. The carriage lurched forward, wheels grinding over wet gravel, carrying her away from the only home she'd known for 2 years. Away from him, away from everything. Maya didn't cry, didn't scream, didn't pound on the windows demanding answers. She just stopped feeling, stopped hoping, stopped being the woman who believed a vampire king when he promised forever. The twins, Elias and Sarah, pressed closer, sensing something breaking in their mother that had nothing to do with the storm outside. What Maya didn't know, what she couldn't know as the carriage disappeared into the night, was that the moment Theron Ashford closed that door, he'd made the greatest mistake of his 800-year existence. And he would spend the next 3 years learning exactly what it cost to shatter someone who'd given you everything. Act 1, Before the Fall. 2 years earlier. The first time Maya Jensen saw the Vampire King, she was trying not to die. She'd stumbled through the forest for 3 days, the twins, barely 6 months old, wrapped in every piece of clothing she owned. Her ex-husband's family had finally made good on their threats. They'd burned her cottage, called her witch, said the twins' gray eyes proved they weren't human. They weren't entirely wrong. Maya collapsed near a stream, the twins bundled against her chest. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I tried. Someone's out here." A voice, smooth as silk over steel, came from the shadows. A figure emerged, tall, impossibly graceful, with silver-white hair that seemed to capture moonlight. His eyes were crimson, burning like coals in the darkness. She should have been terrified. Instead, she met his gaze and said, "If you're going to kill us, make it quick. They're just babies. They don't deserve to suffer." The vampire stopped mid-stride. Something flickered across his perfect features. Surprise. Or recognition. He crouched before her. "Who said anything about killing?" "I'm Theron. May I see them?" Against every survival instinct, Maya shifted, letting him see the twins' faces. Theron went completely still. "Blood of the lumens," he breathed. "I thought your line was extinct. I don't know what that means. I just know people want them dead, and I won't let that happen." "No, you won't, because I'm going to help you." His crimson eyes met hers. 3 centuries ago, a woman from the Lumen bloodline saved my life. I swore a debt to her line. He stood, offering his hand. "I'm offering sanctuary. A home. Protection for you and your children, for as long as you need it." She looked at his outstretched hand, pale, cold, belonging to a creature of nightmare. She took it, without a word. Theron swept her into his arms, cradling her and the twins against his chest. "I'll carry you. I don't even know you. You will." He started walking. "And when you do, you'll understand why keeping you safe matters more than you can imagine." Maya's head fell against his shoulder. The last thing she heard before sleep took her was Theron's voice. "I swear on the old oaths, Maya Jensen, no harm will come to you or your children while I draw breath." She believed him. That was her first mistake. The sanctuary years. Ashford Castle wasn't what Maya expected. She woke in a room of warm stone and thick tapestries, sunlight streaming through tall windows. The twins slept peacefully in a carved wooden cradle beside her bed. "You're awake." Theron stood in the doorway. "You had fever. My healer treated you. The twins are fine. I've been caring for them. You changed diapers? I've existed for 8 centuries. I've done considerably stranger things." The corner of his mouth lifted. "They're remarkably well-behaved." Months passed. The castle became home. Theron visited daily. At first, duty, but slowly, imperceptibly, it became something else. They're walking. Maya found him in his study, pride bursting from her voice. Both of them. Theron's face transformed. Show me. They spent an hour in the nursery, Theron sitting on the floor, the vampire king, 800 years old, clapping as two toddlers stumbled between furniture. When Sarah grabbed his hair and giggled, the look on his face made Maya's chest ache. "You're good with them," she said softly. "They make it easy." He held Sarah like she was made of starlight. I'd forgotten what it feels like to be trusted so completely. "They love you." His eyes found hers. "And their mother?" Maya's breath caught. "Their mother thinks you're the best thing that's happened to them." To us. Something passed between them. Unspoken, fragile, terrifying in its intensity. The first year. Spring arrived. Maya started helping in the castle's archives. She and Theron would talk for hours. "Listen to this," she'd say, eyes bright. In 1243, there was a peace treaty between vampires and the loomed line. I remember. Alara's grandmother negotiated that. Theron sat beside her, close enough that she could feel the cold radiating from him. Maya touched his hand, the first time she'd initiated contact. Maybe Elias and Sarah could restore that balance someday. If they're taught balance. Compassion. His fingers curled around hers. "Maya, I would do anything for those children. And for you." The confession hung between them. "You're not alone," she whispered. He closed his eyes. "Neither are you." The second year. By the twins' second birthday, the castle had transformed. Their laughter echoed through ancient halls. Even Theron's stern guard smiled at their antics. Theron commissioned a portrait, the four of them, Maya seated with the twins, Theron standing behind them, his hand on her shoulder. He hung in the great hall where everyone could see. "You're making a statement," Maya observed. "I want everyone to know you're under my protection. That you're—" He paused. "That you're mine to defend. Yours, if you'll have me. I can't offer you sunlight, or aging together, or children of our own. But I can offer you forever. Safety. And love, if you want it from something like me." Maya stepped closer. "You're the person who saved us. Who sits with me in libraries and makes me feel like I matter. You're the person I've been falling in love with for 2 years." Theron's hands framed her face. But I want to try. Choose this. Choose you. Choose whatever forever looks like." He kissed her then. Gentle, reverent, tasting of night and ancient promises. Both twins stood in the doorway, watching with knowing gray eyes. Sarah clapped. Elias giggled. And Theron laughed. A sound of pure joy that rang through the castle like bells. The perfect year. The third year was magic. Theron courted Maya properly. Midnight picnics, dancing in empty ballrooms, whispered conversations until dawn. The twins thrived. Elias could soothe animals with a touch. Sarah made plants bloom out of season. "I want to try the turning ritual," Maya told him one night. "Not now, but someday, so we can have forever." Theron's arms tightened. "You're certain?" "I've never been more certain." "Then when you're ready, I'll stand beside you through every moment." It was a promise. A vow. She believed him. Act 2. The breaking. The summons. The emissary arrived during the twins' third birthday celebration. A vampire older than Theron, eyes like tarnished gold. "Theron Ashford, the conclave of elders summons you. Testimony required regarding harboring of blood-sworn humans." Maya felt Theron stiffen. "I harbor no one. Maya and her children are guests, under my protection. The conclave has evidence you've formed forbidden bonds. Courted a human. Elevated her status above your own kind." Murmurs rippled through the hall. "I violated no law. The conclave demands your presence in 7 days. Failure to appear will be considered treason." The celebration ended. Guests dispersed, casting pitying glances at Maya. What does this mean? She found Theron in his study. It means the conclave has decided I'm a threat. They've found the perfect leverage. Me, they'll demand I give you up. Prove my loyalty to vampire law over human attachment. Fear spiked. And if you refuse? Civil war. Hundreds will die. His forehead pressed against hers. "But I won't do it. I won't give you up. You have to go. Face them. I can take you with me." "No." The twins need stability. Taking us into political danger makes everything worse. She gripped his wrists. "Go. Defend yourself. Come back. We'll be waiting. 7 days. 7 days." He kissed her, desperate, clinging. I love you. Nothing will keep me from returning to you. She believed him. She shouldn't have. The conclave. Maya didn't hear from Theron for 5 days. Just silence. On the 5th night, a messenger arrived with a note. The conclave has issued an ultimatum. Theron must choose between his crown and his human attachments. I'm bringing you and the children to him immediately. Pack only essentials. We leave within the hour. Maya's hand shook. How could she force Theron to choose? The journey took 2 days. When they finally reached the conclave stronghold, a fortress of volcanic rock, guards escorted them through corridors lit by black torches. The twins pressed against her, frightened for the first time in years. They were brought to a massive chamber. At the center stood Theron. He looked terrible, exhausted, pale even for a vampire. When he saw Maya and the twins, something broke in his expression. No, I told Marcus not to bring them. Not here. Theron Ashford. An ancient voice echoed. An elder vampire, impossibly old, eyes like dying stars. You summoned the human. Accept responsibility. I did no such thing. Marcus stepped forward. My lord sent written orders. I followed them. I sent no. Theron stopped, understanding dawning. You forged them. Betrayal. One of Theron's own people, compromised. The ancient elder spoke. Theron Ashford, you stand accused of violating the separation accords, of elevating a human to consort status, of planning to turn her without conclave approval. The lumen line has historical alliance. Add, creating a turned lumen would give you unprecedented political power. The elder leaned forward. I offer you a choice. Renounce the human and her children. Return them to mortal lands, unharmed but unprotected. Swear never to contact them again. Do this and retain your crown. Silence. Or keep them. Be cast out as rogue. Lose everything. Be hunted. The elder's voice was merciless. Choose. Power or love. Maya's world stopped. Theron. She kept her voice steady. You can't lose your kingdom. Everyone who depends on you. They don't matter. Maya. Nothing matters except. My lord. One of Theron's council members stepped forward. If I may speak plainly, the human is right. If you're cast out, the territories will fall into chaos. Humans under your protection will be slaughtered. He moved closer. But if you return them now, make it clear they meant nothing beyond obligation. The conclave will be satisfied. You retain power, and with power comes the ability to protect them from a distance. Maya saw Theron understand the trap. Keep them and doom them to being hunted. Or give them up and use his power to ensure their safety from afar. There are mortal towns under vampire protection. The council member continued quietly. Places where they could live normal lives, watched over but not connected to you. Safe, Theron whispered. Safe. Maya felt tears slide down her cheeks. This was the choice, his kingdom and their safety, or his love and their destruction. How long must I stay away? Forever. The elder's voice was merciless. The moment you contact them, the conclave will view it as continued defiance. Forever. Theron looked at Maya. Really looked, memorizing every detail. I can't. You have to. Maya's voice broke. I love you. I will always love you. But I won't let you destroy everything for us. Stop. Don't be noble. He was in front of her suddenly. I can't lose you. The twins were crying, reaching for Theron. Maya pulled his hands down. You're not losing us. You're saving us. Keeping us safe the only way you can. Tears streamed. And someday, when the politics change, maybe... He pulled her close. I swear, Maya, I will find a way back to you. This isn't forever. It's not forever, she echoed, though they both knew it was a lie. He knelt, pulling the twins into his arms. Be brave. Remember that someone loves you more than kingdoms. Elias touched Theron's face. Papa. The word destroyed him. Papa loves you. More than you'll ever know. Choose, Theron Ashford. Now. Theron stood. Step back. His face transformed into cold, royal indifference. Summon a carriage. Return the humans to mortal territories. Give them gold for comfortable living, nothing traceable. He turned away, unable to look at Maya. Consider my obligation to the loomed bloodline fulfilled. Maya felt something die inside her. As for the woman, Theron's voice was ice. She served her purpose. Historical debt repaid. I have no further use for human attachments. The words were meant for the conclave. Political theater. But Maya heard them differently. No further use. Serve her purpose. The council member moved forward. Come, I'll escort you to the carriage. Maya lifted the twins, body moving mechanically. She didn't look back. Couldn't bear to see his face. They were taken through corridors, downstairs, out into cold night where a carriage waited. Please, Maya turned to the council member. Tell him we understand. Tell him. There's nothing to tell. His voice was kind but final. This is better. Clean break. He helped her into the carriage. You're going to Millbrook. 3 days travel. It's under tertiary protection. Close enough to ensure safety, far enough to satisfy the conclave. He placed a heavy purse in her lap. Enough for a house and several years living. Make a life. Forget the castle. The twins' abilities will be monitored from a distance. If they're in danger, Theron has arranged discreet protection. But you'll never see it. The door closed. The carriage lurched forward. Maya sat in darkness. The twins pressed against her and felt absolutely nothing. No rage. No tears. No heartbreak. Just emptiness where love used to live. The leaving. An hour later, Maya realized she was supposed to comfort her children. Mama, Sarah's small voice. Why did Papa send us away? The question should have broken her. Instead, Maya heard her own voice, flat and distant. Because he had to choose. And he chose his kingdom. But he loves us. Elias's certainty was knife sharp. Love doesn't always matter. Sometimes promises break. That's just how the world works. The twins exchanged glances. Then Sarah said quietly, You've stopped glowing. What? Your heart light. Elias pointed at her chest. It's always glowing, silver and warm. But now it's gray. Lumen children saw auras. Maya had forgotten. I'm broken, she thought distantly. Something fundamental just broke. When they stopped to rest, she mechanically fed the twins, changed them, settled them back. All the motions of motherhood performed by a body that no longer housed a soul. On the second day, it rained. The twins grew fretful. Tell us a story, Sarah begged. Like Papa used to. No stories. Maya's voice was hollow. Stories aren't real. They're lies we tell to make the world feel safer than it is. Elias's lip trembled. He was 3 and had just learned that safety was temporary. Maya watched him almost cry and felt no urge to comfort. Just observed, clinical and detached. I should care, she thought. I should feel something. But there was only emptiness. That night at an inn, Elias crept into her lap. Mama, please come back. I'm right here. No. Your eyes left. Please come back. Maya looked at her son and felt nothing. I can't, she whispered. I don't know how. Act 3. The Years of Silence. Millbrook, Year 1. The town was small, prosperous, boring. Maya bought a modest house, found work as a seamstress, and went through motions. She fed the twins, kept the house clean, spoke only when necessary. But she never smiled, never laughed. The children adapted. Elias and Sarah learned their mother was present, but not there. She'd care for physical needs with mechanical precision, but the warmth, the joy, the spontaneous hugs, the laughter, all of it was gone. Maybe Papa will come back, Elias whispered to his sister one night. Mama says he won't, but maybe... Sarah shook her head with wisdom beyond her years. Mama's heart light is still gray. If Papa was coming back, it would glow again. They stopped asking. Year 2. A man courted Maya. The baker's son, kind, stable, utterly human. She accepted his company with empty politeness. You're beautiful, he told her. Those children need a father. They had one. It didn't work out. Then try again. Maya looked at him. I can't give you what you want. How do you know what I want? Because everyone wants the same thing. They want the person they see to be real. She stood. But I'm not. I'm just hollow, performing existence. You deserve someone actually alive. She left him sitting there, confused and hurt. The townspeople whispered. Poor woman. Something broke her. They weren't wrong. Year 3. The twins turned 6. Maya baked a perfect, tasteless cake consumed without celebration. Do you remember Papa? Sarah asked her brother later. Yes. Elias's voice was fierce. I remember everything. His voice. The way he smelled like winter. How he'd read to us in old languages. Mama doesn't remember. She does. She just won't let herself feel it. Sarah looked at her brother. I think she's afraid that if she lets herself feel anything, even good things, the hurt will come back too. So she feels nothing instead. They watch their mother in the garden, pulling weeds with methodical precision, face blank as fresh paper. I miss her, Elias whispered. Me too. They had a mother who fed them, clothed them, kept them safe. But the woman who'd laughed and played and loved them with fierce joy, she was gone. Theron's hell. The vampire king returned to his castle and went mad by degrees. The first month he functioned, attended councils, managed territories, played political games. But he stopped sleeping in his chambers, had the portrait taken down, locked away where he couldn't see it. It didn't help. My lord, Kale, his second in command, found him in the archives 3 months later. The eastern border requires attention. Handle it. My lord, you specifically. I said handle it. Theron didn't look up. I trust your judgment. The court is concerned. You've been absent. I'm right here. Physically, yes. But you sent them away to save them. Destroying yourself doesn't honor their sacrifice. Kale's voice hardened. And it's a disgrace to everything she believed about you. Theron stood abruptly. Get out. Kale left. Theron stood alone, surrounded by histories, feeling the weight of forever crushing down. 6 months after, he started investigating, discreetly, using contacts the conclave couldn't trace. Reports came back. The woman and children are alive, living in Millbrook. No threats detected. Later, the woman is withdrawn, functional but emotionally absent. Then, the woman shows signs of severe depression, displays no joy, no engagement beyond necessities. Theron read that report 3 times, feeling something crack open in his chest. I did this, he whispered. I broke her instead. He wrote a letter, poured everything into it. Then he burned it, because contact would put them in danger. So he did nothing, and hated himself more with every passing night. 1 year after, Kale found him at the window of Maya's untouched room. There's talk of challenging your rule, declaring you unfit. Perhaps they're right. She wouldn't want this. She has no idea what I've become. That's for the best. Theron touched the glass. Do you know what the worst part is? I can feel her through the blood oath. I can feel her emptiness. His hand pressed flat. She's alive, breathing, existing. But the woman I loved is gone. I killed her as surely as if I'd drained her blood. Then fix it. I can't. Contact endangers her. Then destroy the conclave. Rewrite the laws. Take back your power to love who you choose. Kale's voice was urgent. You're the oldest vampire in the Northern Territories. You've survived 8 centuries, and you're letting politicians dictate your existence. Theron turned slowly. What are you suggesting? Remember who you are, what you're capable of. Then burn down everything standing between you and your family. For the first time in a year, something flickered in Theron's dead eyes. Something dangerous. How many would stand with me? Against the conclave? Kale smiled. My lord, you've ruled with justice for 800 years. Half the vampires in this territory owe you their existence. The humans under your protection remember safety. He leaned closer, asked them to choose between the conclave and you. Theron stared at his lands. The territories he'd sacrificed Maya to preserve. It would be war. Yes. Vampires would die. Humans too. Yes. But they'd die for the right to choose their own bonds. To love without permission. Kale's voice dropped. And maybe you get your family back. Theron was silent. Then, start gathering intelligence. Quietly. I want to know which clans would stand with us. But carefully. If the conclave suspects rebellion, they'll strike at her. I won't risk them. Understood. Kale left. Theron turned back to the window and made a vow to the darkness. I'm coming, Maya. I don't know how long it will take, but I will tear down every obstacle between us. The question he didn't ask, would she even care? Would the woman he'd broken be capable of loving him again? Year 2, the slow plan. Theron became calculating, patient. He started small, renegotiating treaties, forging alliances, quietly demonstrating that human-vampire cooperation brought prosperity. Towns under his protection thrived. Trade flourished. Humans and vampires worked together without fear. Other territories noticed. Theron's model works. Perhaps the Conclave's separation doctrine is outdated. He also sent gifts, not directly to Maya, that would be traceable, but to Millbrook generally. Funding for schools, road improvements, a new clinic. Maya never knew the improvements came from Theron's gold. Never knew he watched from a distance, ensuring her safety even as she hated him. Year 3, the breaking point. The summons came on the 3rd anniversary. The Conclave demanded Theron's presence for discussions regarding territorial governance. He knew what it meant. They'd grown suspicious. He went. The ancient elder sat on the same throne. Theron Ashford, you've been busy. I govern my territories, as is my right. You gather power, build alliances. One might think you're preparing for something. One might think I'm simply being a competent king. Or one might think you're still attached to the human woman. Another elder interjected that every decision is calculated to eventually bring her back. I haven't contacted them, haven't violated any terms. No, but you've sent money to their town, protected them from a distance. I protect all towns under my influence. That's governance, not attachment. Then you won't mind if we test that claim. The elder smiled coldly. The woman has been marked. Other vampires have expressed interest in acquiring her and the children for their own purposes. Every muscle in Theron's body locked. The lumens are under historical protection. You renounce your obligation when you returned her. The elder's voice was silk over poison. She's no longer your concern. Unless you'd like to confess your attachment remains. Trap. If Theron admitted he cared, they'd use Maya as permanent leverage. But if he didn't, they'd give her to another vampire. Touch her, and I'll burn the Conclave to ash. Silence. The elder laughed. There it is. You still love her. I love what she represents. Her children carry the last Lumen bloodline. Of course, I don't want them in rival hands. Prove your detachment is genuine. Take a vampire consort. Do this, and we'll consider the woman permanently protected under general law. And if I refuse, then we'll treat her accordingly, as leverage to keep you compliant. Theron saw it clearly. They wanted to humiliate him, force him to take a consort he didn't want. But if he refused, Maya would become a political pawn forever. How long do I have? 1 month. Choose wisely. Power or love? You still can't have both. The same choice. Different words. But this time, Theron had a plan. The rebellion. He returned and called a war council. Not just his inner circle. Every vampire of power in his territories. Every human leader who'd worked with him. The Conclave has issued an ultimatum, he began. Take a consort of their choosing, or be stripped of autonomy. Outrage rippled through the hall. They claim it's about tradition, but we know what it's really about. Control. Theron's voice carried. I'm done with their control. Done pretending power requires cruelty. He looked around. I'm proposing succession. The Northern Territories formally break from the Conclave. We establish our own governance based on one principle, bonds of choice. That's rebellion. Yes. It's war. Yes. Why now? A human council member asked. Theron was silent for a long moment. Then, because 3 years ago, I chose power over the woman I loved. I told myself it was to protect her. He met their eyes. I was wrong. Distance didn't protect her. It broke her. And every day I spend complying is another day proving their world, where power matters more than love, is correct. His voice hardened. I won't do it anymore. I won't live in a world where protecting someone means abandoning them. I'm going to war for the right to choose who I love. And when I win, I'm going to Millbrook, kneel before the woman I destroyed, and spend forever earning her forgiveness. The hall was silent. Then Cale stepped forward. I stand with you. Another, and I, a human leader, we stand with you. One by one, they pledged. Enough. Then let's bring down an empire, Theron said quietly. The war condensed. The conflict lasted 6 months. Brutal, bloody, devastating. Theron fought like a creature possessed. Not for himself, for Maya. Every battle won brought him closer. The turning point came at Winter's Edge. Theron faced the ancient elder in single combat. You're doing this for a human who's probably forgotten you, the elder hissed. I don't care if she hates me. I care that she has the choice. He won. The elder fell. The conclave's power shattered. New laws were written. No vampire authority could dictate personal bonds. Mixed alliances were legally protected. Freedom, hard-won and blood-bought. But Theron felt none of it. Because now came the hardest part. Facing Maya. Act 4. The Return. 3 years, 6 months after. Maya was in the garden when she heard the knock. Evening, twilight. She'd been pulling weeds with mechanical precision. The twins were inside, doing lessons. She opened the door. Theron stood on her doorstep. For a moment, neither moved. He looked different. Thinner, somehow. Worn. Battle-scarred. His silver-white hair was longer. His crimson eyes held centuries of grief. Maya felt nothing. Hello, Maya. His voice cracked. She stared at him. This creature who'd promised forever and deliver abandonment. Why are you here? May I come in? No. He flinched. Maya, please. Let me explain. Explain what? That you chose your crown? I know. I was there. She started to close the door. Leave. I overthrew the conclave. Changed the laws. Fought a war for 6 months so I could come back. So you could what? Collect us? Prove you won. No. So I could apologize. Tell you, I made the worst mistake of my existence. I don't care. The words were simple, devastating. Whatever you felt, whatever you suffered, I don't care. She met his eyes. You want to know what I felt? Nothing. I felt nothing. Because feeling anything meant remembering you, and that hurt too much. So I stopped. Her voice never rose. Just delivered truth like a coroner's report. I stopped feeling joy because it reminded me of the castle. Stopped feeling love because it reminded me of you. Stopped feeling anything except the minimum required to keep my children alive. She gestured at herself. This is what you created. A hollow thing that goes through motions. You want an apology? Fine. You're sorry. Noted. Now leave. Maya, I said leave. Don't come back. Papa. The small voice froze them both. Elias stood in the hallway, eyes wide. Sarah appeared behind him. Papa. The twins launched forward. Maya tried to catch them, but they were already through the door, wrapping around Theron's legs, sobbing his name. Theron collapsed to his knees, pulling them close, his mask finally shattering. Elias. Sarah. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You left us. Elias's voice was muffled. Why did you leave us? Because I was stupid and scared and wrong. I thought I was protecting you, but I was hurting you. I'm sorry. Maya watched from the doorway. Watched her children cling to this vampire who'd abandoned them. Felt nothing. Come inside. Her voice was still flat. It's getting cold. It wasn't an invitation. Just a concession. Theron carried the twins in, settling on the floor. They peppered him with questions, and he answered with heartbreaking honesty. Maya watched from across the room. Arms crossed. Expression blank. When the questions slowed, Theron looked up at her. May I stay? Just for tonight? I'll sleep outside. I just want to be near you. Do whatever you want. I'm going to bed. She left him sitting on her floor, surrounded by children who'd forgiven him immediately, desperately trying to reach a woman who'd forgotten how to feel. The siege of patience. Theron stayed, not in the house, but in the garden, sitting against the wall, visible through the window. The first night, it rained. He sat in it, unmoving. The second night, snow fell. He remained. The third night, Sarah snuck out with a blanket. You'll freeze, Papa. I can't freeze, little one. But he wrapped it around her, carrying her back inside. Maya watched from the window. Felt nothing. Days passed. Theron stayed. He didn't approach, didn't demand conversation. Just existed in her peripheral vision. The twins spent every moment with him. He helped with lessons, told stories, played games. But he never pushed Maya. He just waited. On the 7th day, she spoke to him. Not kindly, just acknowledged his presence. The children need new shoes. I'll arrange it. I don't want your money. Then I'll make them. I learned cobblery in 1643. He paused. May I measure their feet? Fine. 2 days later, he presented perfectly crafted shoes. The twins were delighted. Maya examined them critically. They're adequate. Thank you. Theron's voice carried no sarcasm, just gratitude for the smallest acknowledgement. Week 2. He fixed things. The garden gate, the loose board, the stuck window. Never asked permission. Just quietly repaired her world. Why are you doing this? She finally asked one evening. Because you shouldn't have to live with disrepair. I've lived with it for 3 years. I know, and I'm sorry for that too. He climbed down from the roof. Maya, I'm not trying to buy forgiveness. I'm just trying to show you I mean it. The apology, all of it. Actions don't erase the past. No, but maybe they can build a future. He held her gaze. I'm not leaving. I'll stay in your garden for eternity if that's what it takes. I'll fix every broken thing and never ask for more than you're willing to give. And if I'm never willing to give anything, then I'll love you anyway. Because that's what love is. Not a transaction. Just choosing to care, even when it's not returned. Maya stared at him. Tried to feel anger or longing or anything. Still nothing. You're wasting your time. It's mine to waste. She went back inside. Week 4. Winter deepened. The twins turned 7. Maya baked a cake. Perfect, tasteless. Theron appeared with gifts. Carved wooden horse. Jeweled hair comb. Beautiful, clearly made by his hands. May I join the celebration? Maya looked at him, at his hopeful, terrified expression. No. She closed the door. Heard him sit back down in the snow. The twins looked at their mother. Mama, it's Papa's celebration too. He lost that right. But, eat your cake. They ate in silence. Joy sucked from the celebration. That night, Maya stood at the window, watching Theron in the snow. Unmoving. Patient. Waiting. She tried to feel something. Nothing. She turned away and went to bed. Month 2, the first crack. Sarah got sick. High fever, delirious, calling for Papa. Maya stayed with her, applying compresses, brewing tea, doing everything a mother should. But when Sarah's fever spiked dangerously, Maya felt the first flutter beyond numbness. Fear. She burst through the door. Theron. He was there instantly. What's wrong? Sarah. The fever won't break. He was inside before she could protest, moving to Sarah's bedside. Lung fever. My blood can heal her. Just a few drops. No, I won't let you. She could die. His voice was gentle but firm. I know you hate me, but your hatred of me shouldn't cost her life. Maya stared at her daughter, at her flushed cheeks and labored breathing. Felt that crack widen, fear forcing feeling through the numbness. Do it. Theron bit his wrist. Let 3 drops fall into Sarah's mouth. The effect was immediate. Color returning, fever dropping, breathing easing. Within an hour, Sarah slept peacefully. Maya stumbled out to the garden, gasping, feeling too much after years of nothing. Terror at how close she'd come to losing her daughter. Gratitude toward Theron. Anger at needing him. Everything at once. She was crying. Actually crying. The first tears in 3 years. Theron followed. Maya, don't. Just don't. But she was sobbing. Theron stood frozen, wanting to comfort but not daring to touch. I can't do this, Maya gasped. I can't keep feeling nothing. But I can't feel everything either. It hurts too much. I know, and I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix it. No, but time might. He stepped closer, still not touching. Maya, you don't have to forgive me. You don't have to love me again. But please, please let yourself feel. Even if it's just anger. She looked at him through tears. At this creature who'd broken her and now begged her to be whole, even if it meant hating him. I don't know how. Then let me help. Let me carry some of it. You don't have to do it alone. He offered his hand. Maya stared at it. Slowly, trembling, she took it. His skin was cold. Familiar. And for the first time in 3 years, she squeezed back. Month 3, thawing. The breakthrough didn't fix everything. Maya didn't suddenly forgive him, but she started letting him exist in her space. He could sit inside during meals, help with bedtime routines, talk about mundane things. She still didn't smile, still didn't laugh, but she was present. Tell me about the war, she said one evening, both by the fire while the twins slept. Theron looked up, surprised. Are you certain? I need to understand what made you think you could come back. So he told her. Honest accounting of 6 months of brutal conflict. I killed the elder who forced my choice. When the conclave fell, I felt nothing. No triumph. Because the victory was hollow. I won my freedom, but I'd already lost everything that mattered. He looked at her. Maya absorbed this. You could have sent word during those 3 years. I couldn't risk it. If the conclave discovered I was still attached, they'd have used you as leverage, or killed you to break me. The only way to keep you safe was to stay away completely. And that's supposed to comfort me? That you chose my safety over my agency? Her voice wasn't angry anymore, just tired. Theron, you made every decision about my life without asking me. She met his eyes. When do I get to decide? The question hung between them. You're right. Theron's voice was raw. I've been arrogant. Made choices for you instead of with you. He leaned forward. So decide now. Tell me what you want. And I'll do it, even if it destroys me. Maya was silent for a long time. Then, I want you to stay. But not in the garden. There's a spare room. Hope flared in his eyes. Maya, don't read too much into it. I'm not forgiving you. I'm not promising anything. I'm just tired of watching you sleep in snow. And the twins deserve their father nearby. And their mother? What does she deserve? Maya looked at him. Really looked at the guilt and hope and desperate love written across his face. Time, she said quietly. Their mother deserves time. Then you'll have it. All the time you need. He moved into the spare room that night. The house felt different. Not better yet. Not healed. But maybe, possibly, beginning to thaw. Month 6, small moments. Spring came. The garden bloomed. Theron worked the soil. Maya watched from the window. He's good with plants, Elias observed. Yes, he used to love gardening. Before. The word carried weight. Maybe I will again. That afternoon, she joined Theron in the garden. Knelt beside him. Picked up a trowel. They worked in silence, side by side. This one, Theron gestured to a seedling. Night blooming jasmine. Your favorite. She'd forgotten she'd told him that. Thank you. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was acknowledgement. They planted flowers until sunset painted the sky gold and crimson. Month 9, conversation. They started talking. Really talking. What was the worst part? Maya asked. Of the 3 years. Theron considered. Knowing I'd broken you. Feeling your emptiness through the blood oath and being unable to fix it. There's a blood oath? I swore on the night I found you. To protect you always. It's not compulsion. Just connection. I could feel your presence. Your emotional state. So you felt me die inside. Yes. That must have been torture. It was deserved. They sat with that truth. Then Maya said, the worst part for me was watching the twins lose both of us. They lost you completely. And they lost the mother who laughed and played. Her voice cracked. I watched myself become a ghost. And I couldn't stop it. Theron reached for her hand. Hesitated. She took his hand instead. I'm trying, she whispered. I'm trying to come back. I know. And you're doing beautifully. I'm still broken. You're healing. That's different than being fixed. He squeezed her hand. And I'll be here for every moment. She didn't pull away. They sat together, hands joined, watching stars emerge. 1 year after Theron's return, the anniversary came quietly. Maya woke to find Theron in the garden, standing before the night-blooming jasmine. It had grown tall, heavy with flowers. She joined him, wrapping a shawl around her shoulders. 1 year, he said quietly. Yes. Have I earned anything? Forgiveness? Trust? Maya considered honestly. Trust, maybe. A little. You've been patient, respected my boundaries. Been there for the twins without demanding acknowledgement. She touched a jasmine flower. But forgiveness? I don't know. Some days I think I'm close. Other days I'm still angry. Most days I just feel tired. Is that enough for you? Is my maybe someday trust enough? Theron's hand rose to her face, stopping just short of touching. Maya, you're breathing. You're present. You're healing. You've let me exist in your world. That's more than I hoped for. More than I deserve. What do you want? Really want? This. He gestured at the garden, the house, the life they'd built. Mornings watching you wake. Evenings teaching the twins. Nights sitting with you while you remember how to feel. I want to earn my way back into your heart, however long it takes. Maya felt something shift. Not quite love, not yet, but warmth. The beginning of possibility. Ask me again, she said quietly. Ask you what? What you should have asked 3 years ago. Ask me what I want. Understanding dawned. Theron knelt in the damp grass. Maya Jensen, what do you want? She looked down at this ancient vampire king, kneeling in her garden, offering her the choice he'd stolen. I want time. More time. I want to wake up one day and realize I've smiled without forcing it, laughed without remembering it used to hurt. I want to look at you and feel love instead of loss. And when that day comes, then I want forever. Her voice strengthened. The forever you promised. Not because you're vampire royalty or because of blood oaths. She knelt too, bringing herself level with him. Because you're Theron. Because you read bedtime stories in dead languages and make shoes for our children and plant jasmine because it's my favorite. Because you stayed in the snow for a month. Because when I was too broken to feel, you felt enough for both of us. Tears slipped down her cheeks. That's the forever I want. Theron's hands finally touched her face, trembling. You'll have it. I swear. Don't swear yet. She covered his hands with hers. Ask me in another year, when I'm whole enough to choose with my full heart. Even if the answer might be no. Even then, because that's what love is. Risking the answer. Asking anyway. Theron pulled her close, and this time she let him. One more year, he whispered, and I'll ask again, and I'll answer, with everything I am. 18 months, the breakthrough. It happened on a Tuesday. Maya was making breakfast. Theron was helping Elias with mathematics. Sarah was singing in the garden. Normal, domestic, safe. Maya cracked eggs into a pan and suddenly felt it. Pure, uncomplicated joy. Her daughter was singing. Her son was laughing at something Theron said. Sunlight was warming the kitchen exactly right. She felt happy. The pan clattered from her hand. Theron was there instantly. Maya? What's wrong? Nothing. She was crying, but smiling. Nothing's wrong. I just feel it. I feel happy. Her voice rose with wonder. I'm not broken anymore. I'm still scarred. Still healing. But I'm not gray inside. The light came back. Theron made a sound between a laugh and a sob, pulling her close. I knew it would. I knew you were stronger than the pain. Not stronger. Just stubborn. She pulled back, looking at him clearly. Theron, I need to tell you something. Anything. I forgive you. He went perfectly still. Maya, I forgive you for making impossible choices. For trying to protect me, even though it broke us both. For being arrogant and scared and devastatingly stupid. She smiled through tears. I forgive you. Not because you've suffered enough, but because I choose to. Because holding onto the hurt was destroying me. And I'm done being destroyed. Theron's composure shattered. He pulled her close, his body shaking. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve you. Probably not. She held him tighter. But I don't care about deserving. I care about choosing. And I choose you. They stood in the kitchen, holding each other while breakfast burned and their children watched with knowing eyes. Told you Mama would come back, Sarah whispered. Told you Papa would wait, Elias whispered back. They were both right. 2 years after the asking. The second anniversary arrived with spring flowers and morning sunshine. Maya woke to find Theron standing at the foot of their bed. Their bed now, shared for 3 months since she'd invited him in. Good morning, she murmured. Maya Jensen. His voice was formal. Nervous. She sat up. What's wrong? Nothing. Everything's right. He knelt beside the bed. It's been 2 years since I came back. 1 year since you told me to ask again when you were whole. Understanding bloomed. You're asking. I'm asking. He took her hand. Maya Jensen, mother of my heart's children, keeper of my ancient soul, woman who taught me that love is patient and forgiveness is possible. Will you marry me? Let me be your husband in mortal law and vampire oath. Let me stand beside you for whatever forever we build together. Maya felt the weight of the question, the enormity of choosing to bind herself to immortality, to all the complications that came with loving a vampire king. She felt all of it, and she chose anyway. Yes. Theron's face transformed. Yes. Yes. With conditions. No more making decisions for me. No more noble sacrifices. No more assuming you know what's best. Agreed. And I want the turning ritual. Someday. When I'm ready. So we actually get forever. Whenever you're ready. And I want our wedding here. In this garden. Where you waited in snow and rain and learned to be patient. Anything else? Yes. She pulled him onto the bed, into her arms. I want you to promise you'll never leave again. Not for politics. Not for protection. Not for any reason except death. And since you're immortal, that's not an option. I promise. I swear on every oath I've ever made. I will never leave you again. Then yes. 1,000 times yes. They told the twins at breakfast. Elias cheered. Sarah cried happy tears. Both tackled them in a tangle of joy. We're really going to be a family? Elias asked. Forever family? Forever family, Maya confirmed. Sarah snuggled between them. Because we're the best family. She wasn't wrong. 5 years after epilogue, Maya stood in the study of Ashford Castle. Their castle now, returned to after the twins expressed desire to explore their heritage. The portrait had been restored, rehung in the Great Hall, but now a second portrait hung beside it, the four of them as they were now. Older, wiser scar but whole. You're brooding, Theron said, wrapping arms around her from behind. I'm remembering. The night you closed that carriage door. His arms tightened. Maya. No, let me finish. I was thinking about how if you'd handled it differently, I might never have learned I could survive without you. I would have loved you, yes, but I would have been dependent, defined by being yours rather than being myself who chose you. She turned his arms. I'm not grateful for the pain, but I'm grateful for who I became because of it. Stronger, certain, choosing love with open eyes instead of desperate need. And now I love you with everything I am. Not because you're vampire royalty or because you promise forever, but because you're the person who learned to wait, who knelt in snow, who asked instead of assumed. She kissed him, because you're mine, and I'm yours, and we chose that freely. Outside, the twins practiced combat. Older now, 13, fierce and brilliant. Their gray eyes glowed with loomed power. They're extraordinary, Theron observed. They are, and they'll never have to choose between power and love, because we built them a world where both are possible. We did. You pulled her closer, and in another 50 years, when you're ready, we'll ensure you have forever to enjoy it. The turning ritual, they decided together. Wait until Maya had lived a full human life. Then choose immortality. 50 years, she mused, and you'll wait. Maya. He turned her to face him fully. I'd wait 50 centuries if that's what you needed, because that's what love is. Patient, enduring, willing to wait. She touched the spot over his heart. What if I said I'm ready now? He went still. Are you? Not yet, but soon, because I want to see what forever looks like when we're both whole, when we're both choosing it freely. Then we'll wait until you're ready. And when that day comes, I'll stand beside you through every moment, every pain, every transformation. Promise, I swear on the oath that started all this. I will never leave you. Not for politics, not for duty, not for any reason except final death. And since you're immortal, that's not happening. So you're stuck with me. Forever. Good. She pulled him close. Because I choose you. Today, tomorrow, and every day after. I choose us. In the great hall, the portraits watched, testament to love that survived abandonment, forgiveness that transcended betrayal, and family built from ashes. The vampire king had learned patience. The broken woman had learned to feel again. And together, they'd learned that forever was worth waiting for. That night, Maya found Theron in the library, reading by candlelight. What are you reading? He showed her the leather-bound tome. The prophecy about blood guardians and vampire kings. Did it predict any of this? In a way, it says, when a king chooses power over love, he loses both. When love returns broken, patience becomes power. And when two souls choose each other freely, they remake the world. Maya absorbed the words. We did that, didn't we? Remade the world. Yes, by refusing to accept that power and love were incompatible. By proving patience can heal what violence destroys. He kissed her temple, and by choosing each other, every single day, They sat together in candlelight, surrounded by centuries of history, writing their own future with every heartbeat. Outside, the twins' laughter echoed through ancient halls. Inside, two souls, vampire and mortal, broken and healed, separate and joined, held each other close. And for the first time in 3 years of darkness, 8 centuries of loneliness, and countless lifetimes of waiting, everything was exactly as it should be.